Andros starts in on that one-word tune, creep. The dashboard's panel of neon glows, and a girl my age, maybe 16 or so, in a black miniskirt, her hair crimped with glitter, squats down to pane glass and asks a date baby for $5. Outside, street light washes the avenue, a cheap orange, garbage swirling a vacant lot, a crew of boys slapboxing on the corner, throwing back large swills of malt, even the sidewalk teeming with addicts, their eyes spread thin as egg whites. She crams the crushed bill down her stockings, cradles and slides her palm in rhythm to my hips thrashing, in rhythm to Luther's voice, which flutters around that word I now mistake for weep, as sirens blast the neighborhood, and my own incomprehensible joy to silence. Out of the house, my mother returned from the ride of her life, studies pavement cracks for half-empty vials, then looks back at bricked-over windows as though what else mattered? A family, a dinner, a car, nothing but this happiness so hard to come by. Born under punches. The DJ fingered a 12-inch from a batch of milk crates, and we were back inside the school gymnasium, catwalking between slow drags and hip grinds. Skull caps pulled below brows, Timberlands laced high, our fists swelled inside goose-down metallic Parkers, spacemen on the dance floor. Heavy-eyed, feral face, we roamed till some boy's neck flashed links of gold. When Big Jake threw that sucker punch, the boy fell like a swimmer giving up breathing. Lovers left each other's arms backing away. Someone's sister moaned in the bleachers, and a heavy groove unlocked a flurry of fists. In that darkness, speakers rose like housing projects, moonlight diamonded mesh wire panes. What was it that bloomed around his curled body when the lights came up fluorescent, vacant, garish? The gym throbbed with beats and rage, and his eyes darted like a man nailed to a burning crucifix. It was a fact that I got stopped between the age of 12 and 16 at least 15, 20 times in Philadelphia. Pest. Stopped by the cops. Let me finish that. Just walking, not even driving. Just walking. Pest. I heard the terrible laughter of termites deep inside a spray-painted wall on Charleswood. My first thought was that of Swiss cheese hardening on a counter at the American diner. My second thought was that of the senator from Delaware on the Senate floor. I was on my way to a life of bagging mountains, selling poetry on the corners of North Philly, a burden to mothers and Christians alike. Hearing it too, the cop behind me shoved me aside, for he was an entomologist in a former lifetime and knew the many song structures of cicadas, bush crickets, and fruit flies. He knew the complex courtship of bark beetles, how the male excavates a nuptial chamber and buries himself, his back end sticking out, till a female sang a lyric of such intensity he squirmed like a Quaker and gave himself over to the quiet history of trees and ontology. All this he said while patting me down, slapping first my ribs, then sliding his palms along the sad, dark shell of my body. How lucky I was, spread-eagled at 13, discovering the ruinous cry of insects as the night air flashed reds and blues, as a lone voice chirped and cracked over a radio, the city crumbling. We stood a second longer, sharing the deafening hum of termites back from their play and rest, till he swung suddenly, my right arm, then my left. saw a horrible case of gay bashing in my neighborhood, and I actually knew the guy that was doing the bashing. And I forgot about it, and in writing this book out in Oregon, it was very interesting being away from Philadelphia, writing these poems, mainly because there was this longing that was emerging at that time for the city of my youth. And some of the most salient places and experiences would emerge forth in dreams, and oftentimes in daydreams. The pantomime. My best game ahead. I dribble between my legs down Master Street, crisscrossing like a pair of gleaming scissors, precise and sharp. My bedazzled opponents spin in my mind like awkward ice skaters. I stutter step to the right, fake left, carry the ball round my back in a flow that speaks something of elegance and grace in the traffic of men. The finishing touch, a fadeaway jump shot, a finger roll down the lane. No. I pull up top of the key like magic, slowly rising, air like boosters. I gather round my knees for lift. I follow the arc my Spalding makes, regal, a flaming ball of orange fire released over a steely sky, and find you, captain of Franklin High basketball team, screaming at a man, fucking faggot, frost of November air, upper cups, overhand rights, wind beaters, a golden glove. I can't help but think of Larry, who wrote "Love Me Tender" on his hand to the girl of our dreams, who wore his mother's hats like Princess Diana, who thought Kenny a heartthrob and once reached for Earl's wrist a muggy night in July. With a terror that stills me like a trophy, you stomp, kick, as if rustling autumn leaves. The heap of colors flutter in my mouth like vows. Tomorrow you will appear on my stoop in your Adidas sweatsuit and the basketball clutched under your arms and ask, do I know what it takes? I will punch the ball out of your grip, pretend to race to the courts like a Lakers fast break. One pass, then another, then a slam dunk to conceal my fear. Oh, since I'm here, I was going to put this. I tried to be an MC. I tried to rap when I was younger. I tried to break dance. I was totally immersed in b-boy culture. And you see me, right? Glasses. So here's the opening of a poem called "Rock the Body Body." And it kind of talks about the extreme of trying to be that guy. Rock the body, body. One summer night, I learned the art of breakdancing from a guy named Moon. I'm sorry. I'll start. Rock the body, body. One summer night, I learned the art of breakdancing from a guy I'd only known as Moon in exchange for algebra lessons.